Talking about Phil Hartman earlier, another SNL alumni, Chris Farley. Damn, what a funny guy. What a funny guy.
I will say this, and this is for you kids that are watching, that if you don't quit being stupid, you're going to be living in a van down by the river.
Chris Farley.
I love that.
Now,
I'm Matt Foley, and I'll be your motivational speaker. Welcome back, episode 14, everybody. Here on Real Talk After Dark, where we keep it real about life and film. Thanks for joining us. My name's Ryan.
I'm Sarah.
I'm TJ.
And we are here to talk some talk. What kind of talk are we talking tonight, guys?
Today we're going to talk about celebrities who have passed on.
Yeah, an unfortunate topic, but in remembrance of them, we want to talk about them, who they were, what they meant to us, projects that we loved of theirs, stuff like that, just to kind of, keep their spirit alive a little bit. So it'll be a nice little thing because unfortunately, this last week we did lose an amazing icon, the most positive icon next to people like Mr. Rogers and stuff like that. But we lost Richard Simmons. That was a heartbreak, man. That sucked.
So my introduction to Richard Simmons was in '93. Sweating to the oldies.
Sweating to the oldies, baby.
In PE. For years I thought he was gay.
Right? He was just so happy.
Yeah,
which is what gay means.
Well, turned out he was autistic. So I was like, oh well, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
The man is known for his positivity and his shorts.
Well, in his workout videos.
Yeah.
He helped a lot of people.
Yeah, you fatties, you need to, sweat to the oldies.
I've sat recently, especially because of what the court jester that Pauly Shore, the short film Pauly Shore and the team created and set the Sundance, which was very good. After that came out, I actually sat and checked out a lot of Richard Simmons' old interviews and videos and stuff, just because I'm just like, I remember him, but I never really got too much into him. So to kind of watch some videos and learn about him a little bit more and just see that energy and stuff, man, he just put a smile on my face and he put a smile on a lot of people's faces.
You should watch the episodes of Whose Line Is It Anyway with him.
That's some of the videos that was included that night that I watched, was some of those. He's just so funny.
I'll have to add that to my watch list.
And he's so touchy-feely too, in a good way. He's not trying to be, nowadays, if he was touchy-feely like that, people would get all offended and be like, oh, that's too much and stuff. But back in the day, he was he'd go on talk shows and it'd just be all lovey-dovey to everybody, to the audience, to everybody. That's just who he was.
I maintain the creepiest thing I've ever seen when it comes to Richard Simmons was he was in pants. One time.
I don't know if I've ever seen him in
it was
fully
on
clothed.
Today Show, I think, and I'm like, no.
He's always had them legs exposed.
Yeah. I'm like, no, never again.
Another one was Shannon Doherty.
Shannon Doherty this week.
I know that she's the most known for her Charmed role, but I actually liked her a whole lot more in Scare Tactics. I didn't really get into Charmed.
She was the host
she
of
was
Scare
the host
Tactics, wasn't she? That's right.
Well, then I must be the old fogey because 90210.
I never got into shows like that.
90210.
Yep.
I remember that.
That was a shocker to wake up to.
Yeah, that was sad. It was breast cancer. I didn't even,
she had it, and it went to her brain, her lungs.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
I really liked her in Scare Tactics. Yeah. She was a good hostess.
Oh, yeah.
I liked her a lot.
I wish that her and Alyssa Milano could have, mended that, fence, but.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah. Speaking of icons, this week, Shelley Duvall.
Oh, yes. Shelley Duvall.
Shelley.
Yeah.
She was the first one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First big one to go this week.
And then Dr. Ruth.
And Dr. Ruth went. I was talking to her about Dr. Ruth, and she's like, "Who's Dr. Ruth?" I'm like, "You don't know the sex doctor,
Yeah.
the sex therapy
Well,
doctor?"
she-
Like,
Never heard
but
of her.
Do you know that she was also she had a children's TV show too?
no, I didn't know.
It was like
that.
on PBS, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was telling her because I think that was that the same day as Richard?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, yeah, it was, yeah, but yeah, Shelley Duvall, who we were just recently talking about on the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and about a recent interview she had with the Grim Life Collective, which is a great interview. One of her last interviews. She does have a movie coming out this fall that she's got a role in. It's her last movie.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you know, of course, The Shining, which she unfortunately was just tortured. The poor thing.
Another valid reason to dislike that movie.
I can
Just
feel
saying.
I can feel you there. I feel you there. But she was just such a sweetheart and an icon. I wish I had the opportunity to have met her and worked with her. It would have been awesome, for sure. You know, even the same with Richard and Shannon and them all. It'd been great to work with them, meet them.
Richard definitely would have been fun.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine, man. Just like, "Hey, Richard," and he just immediately just open arms, just all like, "Hey," you know.
Just remember, you're a fucking superstar.
You're fucking king. You're the king. Freaking. It's just such a shame that he, you know, had to hide away and stuff because in time people just was making fun of him and stuff, and he hid away, and then people thought because he was gone for so long that his housekeeper had kept him hostage in his own house.
That. And then, you know, supposedly she had murdered him.
Yeah, and he had to come. He had to come out and like call the news station or have like an interview and be like, "I'm okay. I'm not being held hostage."
You know, he just the thing with autistic people is they suffer from social anxiety. So it's just like, you know, eventually he finally got burned out, and he's like, "Nope, can't do it no more."
Yeah. One of the saddest celebrity deaths, I think, was Kobe Bryant and his daughter. I think that was one of the saddest.
Have you heard the conspiracy theory about it?
No.
So, and I fact checked this when it came out. So, Kobe Bryant, you know, they announced, you know, in the paper the next day that, you know, he died. Big article.
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is in the USA Today, but if you look right over here, right here in this corner here, there's an article about something called COVID-19. We didn't know what it was yet. They think that was, you know, something's going on over here, so nobody sees what's going on here.
That's how it's been, man. That's how it's been. Nobody
would not surprise me.
A lot of people are blind to it and don't quite fully understand or fully aware that you got the distractions going on. You know, people don't realize that whatever is happening over here, something really bad's happening over here.
Yeah.
So there was like, it said there was like 5 confirmed cases, and this was in, what was that, January of 19?
Yeah, because we didn't really get anything until the 2022 or 2020.
Yeah. So it was like,
Dang.
really? Sleight of hand, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean the fact that, and I mean the problem I have with it is we talk about him and his daughter, not realizing that like 5 other people died as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that lost their lives.
Yeah, it was like 7, I think, altogether.
Yeah. And then Travis Barker, I mean, he's still alive, but he had that plane accident a hot minute ago. But thankfully, I don't think nobody died in that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody got hurt. They were able to land the plane well.
Thankfully, yeah. I remember hearing about that. I was like, "Oh, Travis Barker was in a plane accident." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Man.
It's all the crazy things, you know.
You know, talking about ones that are sad.
They're all sad,
well,
man.
To this day, the one that hit me really hard was Chester Bennington.
Oh my gosh.
That was yeah.
I still mourn.
Him and JDF.
Jason David Frank.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still cannot wait for that movie to come out.
Legend of the White Dragon.
I think the wildest one that happened in our lifetime was the murder of Selena.
Yeah.
Selena.
I remember the day it came out on the news. I was
So wild.
what was I, about 8 or 9, I think, and we all listen to our music.
Sure, who didn't?
Mhm.
Yeah. And I just remember thinking, how can something so evil happen to somebody that did so much good? At a very young age, it's like,
And it was so selfish.
yeah.
Right.
And,
I heard she's getting paroled this year.
Really?
Yeah.
and you know what's going to happen?
A lot
About
of people are
500
waiting
people
for
are going to
her.
be waiting outside that jail
A
cell.
lot of
Probably,
people are
yeah.
waiting for her.
She's been in solitary confinement for 30 years.
If I were her, I would have just stayed in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? This is my life now. Don't.
And she
Because I bet she's not going to be out a year.
yeah, she's got an interview series coming out where she's like, it's time to finally tell the truth. And it's like, what?
What truth? We already know the truth.
You admitted on the stand that you were stealing from her and she caught you and you accidentally shot her. If you
There's
just want,
no way.
Yeah, if you just wanted to talk to her to give your side of the story, you wouldn't bring a gun with you.
Exactly. It was a premeditated
And then-
murder. You brought the gun.
and
You
then
knew you were going to use
When
it.
she walked out, you wouldn't have walked out to the parking lot and shoot her 2 more times.
Exactly.
But,
She's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be out a year before somebody takes her out. I wouldn't be surprised if she stepped foot out the prison and then somebody shot her, Trump style.
Yeah, better than the kid that tried to do it yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
Trump.
kidding.
Yeah, you
That was
missed.
so silly. Yeah, he
You
missed.
missed, boy. You missed. Motherfucker. 20-year-old. Can you believe it? A 20-year-old. I don't even want to give him that much
You're
time
not
on air.
old enough to
But a 20-year-old,
understand anything
I'm not even
at
going
that
to name
point.
the kid. He just doesn't even need to be named. He's just
Yeah.
a dumbass.
Yeah.
He threw his life away.
Yeah, he's done.
20
He's toast.
years old.
Yeah, you're toast.
And-
You're done.
and honestly-
you tried to assassinate a president.
Honest to God, that is probably one of the saddest ones of the weekend because it's like
That's
you
it,
just
yeah.
got out of high school, you had your whole life ahead of you, and it's like,
I don't even feel bad for him. I mean, feel bad for him.
Nope, shot himself in the foot, basically.
That's his fault. Idiot.
yeah.
And I know this doesn't really count as celebrity, but there was a story recently that I was even telling Sarah that
Well, you might as well
that
because
a girl is getting only 3 years for murdering her best friend.
Yeah.
3 years.
A
17-year-old
17-year-old stabbed a girl in the neck.
for killing her best friend.
well, that's depending upon whatever state they're in.
I don't care.
It doesn't matter to me. Murder is murder.
murder. If you know I think whenever by the time you're like 14, 15, 16, I mean even earlier, you could be 10, 11, 12, 13 depending on how you're raised or whatever, but you should definitely by 14, 15, 16 know better in anything like
They have
what's
literally
good or bad, you should know.
They have literally charged 12-year-olds with murder. What difference does a 17-year-old make?
Talking about, murder and premeditation, all that. Did you hear about the Alec Baldwin case?
Oh yeah, no, we've been following it.
Oh yeah,
It got dismissed from Alec.
yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Because the prosecution swore up and down that he was so guilty, and they withheld evidence about ammunition that had been.
Yeah, but did you hear about the whole thing? Because I watched the entire trial. I listened to the
Ryan
entire
kept
trial.
me posted.
The armorer basically was drugged up on heroin and shit and was doing heroin and all that.
Yeah.
And she brought live ammo to set because she wanted to shoot guns off set in her spare time, and it got mixed in with it because she got all doped up, and then she wasn't paying attention. She'd walk away from the guns, leaving the guns
So
out
stupid.
exposed for people to grab, and she ended up getting it mixed up, and she is mainly responsible, obviously.
Yeah,
but
she's
not
the
only
sole-
that,
she's-
but when she passed the gun off to the first AD and they did their safety check, which wasn't a very good safety check either.
Obviously.
He didn't really check it either, and so when he handed the gun to Alec Baldwin, he called cold gun on set. A cold gun means that there's nothing in it. You're not going to fire it. No blanks, no nothing. It's a cold prop. So, Yeah, so if going through those two, they're mainly responsible. I mean, yeah, Alec did pull the trigger, and he shouldn't have even had his finger on the trigger when rehearsing anyway.
Yeah.
But again, it went through two different people before him.
Well,
and
did you hear that apparently
somebody, regardless of what went down, Helena lost her life, and a husband lost his partner, and a kid lost their mother.
Did you hear that apparently Jensen Ackles' gun had live ammunition too?
Really?
Yeah, I just found that out. I was like,
was he on set arrest?
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, he was in the movie with him.
Oh shoot.
I'm like,
yeah, it just shouldn't be.
After hearing all that, Joe made a whole lot of sense to me, because you remember how we talked about doing dummy rounds with the revolver.
Yeah.
And Joe was like, no.
Well, I had even brought that up to Mike too, because he was like, "Are you sure we could do it?" But I was just like, "No, I don't. I just, for me and my cast and crew, just to be safe, I can have that in post. I don't really need to fire a gun on set."
Well, apparently Joe was like, I guess, afraid of guns or something.
Oh, really?
But after hearing all that, I'm like, I'm kind of glad that we didn't go that route.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think we would have been. I trusted them, and it would have been blanks anyway. But I just didn't.
But still
had the opportunity to actually fire a weapon on set, but it wasn't necessary.
Yeah,
just for one shot, you know what I mean? So, but I was gonna bring that up too. That it's just all about being safe and just watching. I was watching not only the court documents, but they've released the body cam footage from the cops talking to Alec and the first AD and everybody, and just seeing everything that went down, man. It was just, and the cop was supposed to keep everybody away from Alec, and they weren't supposed to talk to Alec. And in any case, anyway, you wouldn't talk to the victim or, or the whoever did it anyway. But he just let it all go down. It was very unprofessional. And
Well, when he was charged, I said, well, it's not going to stick.
Well,
I'm like, it's not. It's not on him. He's the actor. They have these people in place.
Yeah.
And because of this, I think that's what kind of screwed him out of Beetlejuice.
Maybe, but I know Gina said in the interview that she didn't want to come back just because she was older.
Yeah.
And that she didn't want to do the CGI, and they wanted to save the money on it, I guess. So
I just think like it sucks. One last comment for Alec, and then we can move on. I just think that it sucks that he trusted his team, and
that too, yeah.
Like that's got to be like the biggest thing. Like he trusts, like because he could have done his own safety check, even though 3 other people have already handed off this gun, stating that it was a safe gun.
I've been on plenty of film sets with gun safety meetings and everything, and from listening and seeing how everything went down on that set, it shouldn't have happened that way. On a set like that, it shouldn't have happened.
The first movie set that I was on with guns was Eat Organic, and Phil and
did Dustin even do a safety check?
Yeah,
did he?
Yeah,
I might not have been there.
Phil did.
Oh, Phil, yeah.
We were all doing that, and I think it was Philip's mom and dad. They come over to me and they're like, "Are you ex-military?" But I said, "No, I just taught guns at an early age because my family is in the military." And they're like, "Well, with the way you handle guns and everything, you can tell." I'm like, "Well, that's a good thing."
Yeah.
You don't want an idiot just shooting a gun.
Yeah, moving on from one unfortunate, gun incident on set to another. The unfortunate Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
On The Crow. Another tragedy where they were shooting blanks, but,
And that one, I think, ended up being a manufacturing error.
Yeah.
I think is what it was.
It wasn't like an actual bullet in there. There was something else.
And it's just so sad because it's like, after he went down and they called cut and he was still down, they just thought that maybe, he was like still in character or something for a little bit or just chilling. Yeah. And, and then it wasn't until like they had gotten closer and realized like he wasn't moving or breathing or nothing. And then trying, and then it just.
And it messed up the one dude that accidentally shot him, messed him up.
Yeah, I think he ended up spending years in a mental institution.
See, which is why a lot of people aren't thinking about the whole Alec case or giving him a little bit of just give him a break because he fired that. So imagine how he's feeling, and people are immediately first to go to, like, oh, you killed someone, it's your fault, and because you're an actor, you're gonna get, and it's like,
and he's already probably blaming himself a lot too. Because like I said, you go back to that thought, like I could have checked the gun. It would have taken me 2 seconds to open it and see the rounds.
Yeah, I think it's gonna get to the point where I believe they're gonna end up banning like any type of weapons or anything on set now. Like you're gonna have to like CGI the freaking guns in post because they don't want anybody dealing with that stuff anymore. Just to not have it happen.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, but you'd be holding like a green, like probably like a green brick or like little wooden thing that looks like a gun, and then
you'd be holding the other guys. The wooden gun that they gave to...
well, there's such thing as prop guns, too. Because, I mean, Supernatural, there's gag reels where they break their prop guns all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there are alternative, like, well, honestly, rule of thumb, let's not bring live ammunition to fucking work in the first place. Yeah. I mean, let's think logically.
Let's also not bring heroin and meth and all that fun crap.
People are so stupid,
and apparently she's filing a motion to have it hers overturned because technically, I mean, she's got a case, but
she messed up, man.
No, it was negligence on her end. There's no case.
She was even trying to pass off a bag of her heroin to one of the costumers or something that was actually, which is hilarious that she passed it to one of the people that was actually clean and sober. So what she did with it is throw it down the toilet.
The problem.
But then she got pissed because she's like, "Where's my bag? I want my shit. Give me my stuff right now."
The only problem I have is she only got 18 months.
Yeah. It just seems like they're so easy on people anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like...
Look at the two cases between Selena and... What was her name? Helena?
Yeah, Helena Hutchins. Yeah.
She, she bitch, we won't even mention, she got like 30 to life.
The difference is intent. I studied law for a little while before I quit. The malicious intent versus accidental manslaughter, you're going to have different stuff anyways. She was negligent and she caused an accident. It was basically manslaughter, but it was unintentional manslaughter. She didn't have a malicious intent to kill anybody. They made poor decisions. So that's why she's only getting 18 months. Yeah. And that's why Yolanda got 30 some almost life. So that is the difference, is the intent.
Makes sense.
Talking about, going to another subject about sad deaths. Did you hear about that husband and wife from, I want to say Utah? They murdered his 2 stepkids.
Oh.
And her ex-husband and his ex-wife. They were doomsday nut jobs, basically.
Oh, God.
So they hid the kids in some, like, oil barrels on the property and then told them that they went to Arizona with family, and they took off and went to Hawaii. And then when they didn't produce the kids by the time the judge told them, the Hawaii police, they arrested them, extradited them back, they went to trial. They found the kids, they were dead. The husband got a death penalty. Now, here's why his is interesting. He's getting the firing squad.
Really?
You don't hear of that anymore.
No.
Why is he getting a firing squad?
That's a good question, but
I'll have to look into that.
I think he chose it, but
Hawaii must be the place to go to relax while your children die, because it reminds me of that one story that we had heard where a mother had gone on vacation and she left her poor little infant, in the crib, probably not even 10 months, maybe a year or 2 years, something, young, and just left. And if she would have came back a day or two sooner, maybe there would have been a chance to save her. But no, she just was selfish and went on vacation.
People are
gross. I guess Hawaii is the place to go if you want to be guilt free. Stupid.
But yeah, and so that whole case got national attention and all that, and it's he has shown no remorse. His response is, they're in a better place. They don't have to live through this, this world and blah, blah, blah. They were like 8 and 10 years old or something like that.
It's like the only plus side to that, which it's not even a plus side to killing anybody, but
right.
Because then still, even though this world is crazy and life can suck sometimes, like, it's still an experience yet to live, you know what I mean? And to be that young and miss out on so much, that's horrible. And for somebody to take those lives, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like an accident or something like that, which would still be tragic to lose at that, but for somebody to decide that they're going to take that life.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
What would you consider was one of the most impactful celebrity deaths to you?
To me?
Probably JDF.
Well, I mean, yeah, that did break my heart.
Yeah,
and
it
she
broke
woke
you
me
hard.
up to that. But I'd definitely say that when we lost Heath back in 2008, that
That was
hit.
a rough one.
That one hit pretty hard. I honestly don't even remember what I did the rest of the day that day I found out, because I feel like the rest of the day was just like blank. I heard that and I was just like, oh, yeah, it sucked, because then, it was in January of 2008, and it was just a few months, like 6 months before The Dark Knight actually came out worldwide, so we hadn't even had a chance to see that yet. And he hadn't even had a chance to see his brilliant performance.
Do you remember what happened when The Dark Knight came out? In what was it, Boulder, Colorado, I think?
Oh,
Like,
that
Dark
he
Knight Rises?
Yeah, okay, it was a sequel.
Yeah, it was
The Dark Knight Rises.
When the guy decided to shoot up the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, F that guy too.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
People are crazy. People just be crazy, man.
That one was...
And imagine just all the brilliant performances that not only, would we see from other people that we've talked about, but like from Heath Ledger, because he's only 28 years old.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be, he was 10 years older than me, so he should have been 45 now.
Yeah.
So imagine
it's weird.
all the work.
It's weird to think that him and I were like 6.5 years apart.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy crap, really?
I know, yeah. And in his last movie, Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, it was so good.
It was good.
It was so good. And I'm glad that they at least got to finish his live action stuff. It sucks that he didn't get to finish the movie himself.
Yeah.
But I think we've talked about it before, about how Johnny, Jude Law, and Colin Farrell all stepped in and gave their basically money to his kid, Matilda.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was incredible that they didn't take a single cent.
Yeah.
That they wanted to finish it for him and to give his daughter something too. And that just speaks volumes about their characters, about who they are. You know what I mean? So
now
I thought that was great.
Talking about deaths that kind of hit hard.
Let's see about you guys.
One that, I'm surprised you didn't think of was Phil Hartman.
Oh, Phil Hartman, man. Oh,
yeah.
Such a tragic death.
Yeah.
His wife
and
shot
again,
him.
over something stupid.
You know about that? His wife killed him.
Yeah.
And then she turned the gun on herself.
During post-production of Small Soldiers, she went and got a bag of an 8-ball of cocaine, snorted it, went into their bedroom, shot him while he was sleeping. And, in the 90s, Phil Hartman was the guy you hated in movies because he was...
That was so awesome. I love Phil.
he was so good. Like, I think of Jingle All the
Way. Ted.
I think of that. It's like you wanted to hate him, but he was so good at it.
Yeah.
I always love that moment before Arnold goes out to go get the Turbo Man for the first time, and he sees Phil, and he's got the deer, and they're talking to each other. And right before Arnold leaves, and he's like, "Hey, you might want to wrap some chains around your tires." Like, "I'll wrap some chains around you." He's like, "What?" Or whenever he's on the roof, and he's like, "Hey, Howard, ta-da!" And he's like, "What are you doing on my roof?" "What is Ted doing on your roof?" "Well, saw you didn't have your Christmas lights up, and I thought I had some extra ones. And said, hey, what the heck? Why not spread a little bit of Christmas cheer around the
Okay,
neighborhood?"
Ryan, we understand. You know the movie from start to finish.
No, when he walks up to his house and Phil's putting on the Christmas star. First you eat my cookies.
Yeah.
Now you put my star.
He says,
But, you know.
he says, is my wife around? He says, I think she's in the shower, Howard. You want me to go check?
But, when you find out about Phil, it was
rest
like,
in peace.
he was like, do what? It was like, it took me months to realize that really happened.
I know, that was unbelievable.
Because again, in Small Soldiers, he was a dick.
Yeah.
And like, you wanted to punch him in the face.
Yeah. He fucking starts sawing down the tree limb that's in coming over onto his yard, but it's technically the neighbor's tree. And he's like, you can't saw that down. And then after he leaves,
I don't mind.
Yeah. Dude.
It's like, you know, again, he was like, Phil was the guy in the 90s that you just wanted to hate.
Speaking of guy in the 90s that you hated, how about we talk about one that we all loved? Steve Irwin.
Well, that was more the 2000s. But
Steve Irwin.
I think. I don't
No.
know.
I remember watching him whenever I was a kid. Let me look up his time, because I am very sure that he was around in the 90s.
I just want to punch that stingray in the face.
After he died,
Kill him.
zoos all around the world had to put up a sign at the stingray exhibits
He was like, don't touch.
saying, please don't walk up to the stingrays and say, hi, I'm Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
That's mean.
I'm like,
Damn.
how insensitive? It's like, how insensitive do you have to be to go around and doing that? It's like, dude.
Dude, speaking of Steve Irwin, he would be so proud of his kids right now, man.
Oh my God, his kids are doing great.
Amazing.
And they're doing his work too.
Yeah, and not only that, but his son looks and sounds just like Steve. It's amazing.
Yeah, 1996.
Yeah,
And
he was around in the 90s.
I thought so. And there was 5 seasons.
When did he die? Did it say?
2006.
Yeah.
Dang, 2006.
Yeah.
So we're going on 20 years soon that we lost him. Man.
And
That's
I don't know if
crazy.
you remember, but South Park caught a lot of heat because I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks after he died. They had the episode where Satan was hosting a party and Steve Irwin shows up and he goes, nope, it's too soon for you. And like, they got in so much crap over that.
Well, there would be no way in hell that Steve Irwin would end up down there. He's
a gentle soul.
He still would not have blamed that stingray.
No.
They're just doing what animals do.
Yeah.
Just doing what he never was mad at anything that bit him,
Nope.
attacked him, nothing. He's like, they are animals.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they did so many takes and, but
I'll never forget whenever he was bit by a snake, and I was like, "Oh my
Yeah.
God!" Whenever I was younger, I was like, "Oh my God!" And he was just like, "Oh yeah,
He'd
look
be
at
like,
that."
he's like, oh, look at
He's really getting his teeth in there.
Oh, yeah, I really got in there.
no,
Crikey, mate.
no. What's crazy is I got bit by a snake once. Wasn't poisonous. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, you would have thought it would hurt more, and I was like, nah.
No.
But
What about another heartbreak legend? Robin Williams.
Oh,
Again, that's coming up on 10 years
I was
now.
going to go somewhere else, but yeah, let's
10
talk about him for a
years.
minute.
Robin Williams.
Death by Smoochie.
That's Smoochie.
That was a good one.
Do you have any idea who I am? I'm Rainbow fucking Randolph. They're penis cookies.
Robin Williams
Somebody
is amazing.
brought up on Facebook today one of his most underrated films, and I agree with it because most people don't talk about it. Bicentennial Man.
I was just thinking that.
I know,
As
we
you were
talked,
saying,
we
I
talked
was-
about that in
yeah.
one. I forget what episode, but we talked
Bicentennial.
about. You had brought that up.
My
Did
favorite
talk about
Robin
originality.
Williams. My favorite Robin Williams movie, though, What Dreams May Come.
Yes. Love that because it's so
Beautiful.
different for him.
It is
Beautiful.
raw.
Yeah.
The story was so compelling.
Yeah.
For real.
Robin Williams was fantastic.
before that, what was it? Good Will Hunting he had done before that.
Good Will Hunting.
And I'm like, whoa.
He had so many different versions of himself that he could play.
Mm-hmm.
He could be funny. He could be serious.
Did you hear what Christopher Columbus is thinking about doing? Dropping on 4K the rated R and the NC-17 version of Mrs. Doubtfire.
We need him. We need it.
Well, he's already got them.
When I heard that he had shot so much different takes and stuff where they could do that, I was like, I want to see it. I want to see it.
Yes.
A rated R Mrs. Doubtfire. Yes.
Blubber.
Blubber.
Blubber is a classic.
I saw that at Cottonwood Mall.
Did you?
Yeah.
I said, hey, look,
Dutch
it's
loves
Blubber.
it. Dutch loves it.
It's Flubber.
Jumanji.
Yes.
Probably one of his most iconic films.
What year is it? It's 1992.
Honestly, my favorite part of that movie is the end. Whenever they both see the kids for the first time again, and it's just so sweet.
It's like the kids have no idea who they are, right?
Well, and then they basically save the kids' parents' lives by telling them, "No, don't go to the thing."
Can we start? Can we start next week? This week we're going to Denver. No.
Yeah.
And
those kids have no idea what's just been done for them.
Yeah. Right. Well, when he gets arrested and he's talking to Carl, he's like, I know you. He goes, we used to call you Soul Man. He goes, Soul Man. He goes, I haven't heard that in a long time. He goes, wait a minute, how do you know that? And he looks up and he goes, it's me, Alan. And David Allen Greer just loses it.
Such a good. Oh my God, that's such a classic.
I love how the sequels paid homage.
Homage to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think only the first one did. Well, technically the second one. You saw his name.
I think the third one did somewhere.
I don't know if it really did or not.
I've only seen the third one. I've really only watched the first one like the most.
Yeah. I thought the second one was cool because they upgraded the times with, it was like an old Super NES or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I liked that. Yeah. I liked that little twist on it.
Do you know what the worst version of Jumanji was? Zathura.
Oh, yeah.
That movie was crap.
I didn't watch it.
It's technically like Jumanji,
yeah. Well, it was a ripoff.
Well, that's why I didn't watch it, because I knew it was a ripoff. Yeah. I never watched it.
But, talking about Robin Williams, that man had so much range.
Yeah,
oh my gosh. I could watch him all day. I could listen to his stand-up.
I've seen him play very serious roles, very goofy roles, very dramatic roles.
One thing I love about comedians is people don't realize or take chances on us because they just think that they're just comedians, that they're just funny.
Right, that's the only range that they have. And oh my gosh, Robin Williams had range.
I know this guy's still alive, but look at Nick Offerman, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that guy could perform the way he did in Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
The story about...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, Bob, yeah.
Yeah, same way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like sometimes you really need to take a look at your comedians and, take a chance on them because I think they'll prove you wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Or action heroes to being funny, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's got some range.
Yeah, he was always wanting to break into comedy, and then whenever Ivan Reitman gave him his chance in Twins.
I would have loved to have seen him in the 90s in a romance. Like not one that's like based on romance. No. He was married in True Lies. He was married in most of them.
What was Maggie?
Maggie was about his daughter turning into a zombie.
Yeah, and him facing the last days with her.
There is no just rom-com.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think there really is.
They're all action with romance kind of in the mix of it, but there's no rom-com. But you know who I would like to see rom-com now? Dave Bautista.
It's hilarious.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you love to see that? I would love to see that.
The day I met him.
He said he loves you?
No, he threw Triple H into me. I get hit, I got a 270. He goes, oh, shit. We're going to get sued. This kid got hurt. And I'm like, dude, calm the fuck down. It's wrestling. I'm good. He's like, no, man. You got hurt. And what?
Did the light go bye-bye again?
I think so.
Yeah. I got to charge 4 lights today before I went to work, and I forgot to charge another one, and I was like, I hope it's got enough juice. And I turned it on, and it had like 20%. And I was like, well.
I'm like, dude, I promise you, I'm good.
I mean, I would just be excited that one of them touched me. I'd be fine with being accidentally tackled by Triple H. I say what you will about Blade Trinity, but
oh god, yes,
Triple H was so great in that movie. He was so funny.
Ryan beard looks good in that movie.
What was it Ryan Reynolds said to him? And he goes, he just yelled something like,
what didn't Ryan Reynolds say?
He said something to him, and he goes, something about the dog. And he just did it with the straightest face. I'm like, I couldn't have. I'm like, no.
It was almost like he was channeling Deadpool early in a sense of the
And
movie.
Ryan Reynolds always was trying to channel Deadpool.
Well, honestly, Van Wilder is like Deadpool in college. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not wrong.
it is. It's Deadpool's early days in college.
Ryan Reynolds, he is so funny.
No, like Triple H, he's done. He did The Chaperone, and it was so funny because he was so dumb in the movie.
I tell you what, WWE low key, their movies are great.
Yeah,
because No One Lives. Have you seen No One Lives?
Yeah.
Really, what's it about?
That good.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Give me a minute.
Yep.
I'm trying. I've only seen it once.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's my favorite.
Really? I would have said See No Evil.
No.
Because that...
I love See No Evil,
Yeah.
do not get me wrong. But No One Lives, I showed him that. Because it's got my man in it, Luke Evans.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Where he plays... Well, I won't spoil it.
Yeah.
It's so good. If you haven't watched it, add it to your
How long
watch
has it been
list.
out? About 5-6 years?
Oh my God. Longer than that.
Wow.
I think that came out in like...
Was that before he joined Fast and the Furious?
Oh, way before.
Oh. That's probably why I don't remember.
2012.
Wow.
Speaking of Fast and Furious, another tragic death, Paul Walker.
Yep, that's a good one. Yeah.
Whenever he was
Sad.
going to get into a car to go on just a fun little joyride, and he told his friends that he was going to be right back.
Yeah.
They were just about to take a little trip down the road, and the guy lost control of the vehicle, and boom, wrapped right around a tree.
Was
I'm
it a
pretty
tree?
sure.
I thought it was
It was a
light
tree.
picture.
No, it was a
It
tree.
was one of the two,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm pretty sure they said that they hit so hard on impact that they didn't. Neither one of them felt pain or burnt alive or anything like that. Even though they said that, like, whenever they were digging in there and stuff, like, they found the bodies, like, they were like just completely charred up. I mean, you could barely recognize who they were. They had to go through dental, I think, just to prove, to say it was them. But yeah, that was a horrible. But I mean, not saying that that's how. I'm sure that's how maybe he wanted to go. I mean, not saying that he needed to go then and there, but
Right.
I mean,
he liked his
painless.
cars and he liked going fast, so kind of died doing what he liked to do. Even though I'm sure he would have rather have been the one driving,
I would love to, drive a Nissan Skyline.
or another car.
Car-related death was done.
I was getting ready to say that.
Ryan Dunn. I was too.
Ryan Dunn, man.
Yeah, Ryan Dunn.
Ugh, that was another sad one.
I
That,
cried.
that one just completely wrecked our boy, Bam.
Man.
And he's thankfully, I forget how many days he is now. He's months now, but
I was gonna say he's like close
sober
to almost.
now.
He's
He's
close to
doing good.
200, isn't he?
He's doing good now.
Look at Johnny Knoxville. He just celebrated like 13 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
him and Steve-O.
Yeah,
Because Steve-O
yeah.
just celebrated 13 or 14
Yeah.
somewhere in there. Yeah, it's incredible. You never would have thought those type of guys.
Yeah.
That they'd be the ones.
I don't know. Steve-O was doing beer pong up his ass. Let's be honest. They
That's
were
what I'm
all
saying.
on
You never
drugs.
would have thought that they would be the ones to
survive.
Not that to live a sober life.
Yeah.
You know, like to
I
live,
thought you were going a different way.
and-
to
with it.
live a positive sober life to
and
like and be role models. You know what I mean?
Be advocates for.
I mean, in a sense, they were kind of role models to dumb kids like me when I was younger. Be like, hey guys, let's hurt ourselves.
Ryan went through his car windshield.
Yep. There's video of it too.
But, I mean, the fact that they lived that life and that inspires me too to keep going and fighting. You know what I mean? And living that too. So it's incredible.
You know, talking about
That's what we're talking about, boy.
talking about badasses. We
Ooh,
got to
badasses.
talk about Sir Christopher Lee.
Well, yeah, man, Christopher Lee.
I mean, not only was he a badass in film,
He lived quite the life. He
Yeah.
died in his 90s.
99.
Yeah.
99.
He lived
That's
a
right.
very, and I think he was mostly.
Right.
I think he just did Hobbit not too long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. he
God,
done
no,
it.
that's probably been a while now. I'm
Yeah.
old.
But like, you think about this. You know, he took on the Nazis head on in World War II.
Right.
Yeah.
Like for real, not in a movie role,
Yeah,
y'all.
like
for real.
like
For
he,
real
You know,
for real life.
he stabbed one of Hitler's high-ranking officers in the throat and killed him.
Jeez Louise. I would have loved to have sat down in the room with that.
Oh
man.
God, yes.
Oh my God. I would just
So-
tell me everything.
I was telling them before we came on.
I was once a Sith Lord in the Star Wars movies.
Sorry, I was trying to do an impersonation. That
terrible.
was horrible. He rolled over in his grave just now. I'm so sorry, Chris. Mr.
But
Lee.
but Christopher
Sir.
Lee was the inspiration behind 007. James Bond was literally written for Christopher Lee. And then he helped Tolkien write The Lord of the Rings. I thought that was pretty cool.
Fun trivia facts there.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know, it just like you think of, we all want to, aspire to live, big, impactful. This dude literally did it all.
Right.
He killed Nazis. He helped write some of the greatest science fiction. He played one of the most evil men in the universe. And, like I told you guys, most people remember him as Willy Wonka's dad. That's
only if
pretty
he was
sad.
Born after 2005, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you know.
Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. That was a rough one, too.
I remember that
And-
came out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah. And the fact that he was only in his 40s.
No, I don't even think he was
Right.
that old.
He wasn't even that old. I think he was like 36.
Because
35
Really?
or
Yeah.
36, yeah.
if I remember correctly, he's only like 3 or 4 years older than me.
Dang. Well, still so young.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
And-
remember, and the fact that he kept it a secret, and
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
his close, I guess, family knew. No,
Yeah.
not even
Yeah.
nobody knew. And the fact that he was in, Black Panther, the Avengers movies, all that, battling this, and we didn't know.
Did you
Yep.
get to see 21 Bridges?
Yes.
That was so good.
Yes.
And that was right before.
Yeah, he yeah.
I think we had gone and seen that in theaters.
Yeah, we
in
saw
Jeff
that in
City, I
theaters.
think, maybe.
That was such a well done movie.
It was a
really
very
good.
well done movie. God, now I'm in the mood to watch it.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it sucks that he had gone, and because I would have loved to have seen, what more they would have done with the Black Panther and how the sequel would have been with him in it.
Yeah.
But I think that they did pay the utmost respect to him.
I still
mean-
need to see it.
I mean, it's just so sad and tragic. 'Cause it's like, you can't really mask the fact that he's gone, so they don't. Like, the movie starts off with, like, the funeral. They're at the funeral
Yeah.
for Black Panther already.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, it was tragic because he was such a talented actor, too. And for him to go so soon so early.
He did an interview when Infinity War came out. It was all of them, and they were talking. And apparently, they gave Tom Holland the wrong script.
Yeah, because Tom Holland can't keep his
Yeah.
mouth shut.
And
Nice.
he goes, they gave me a script and said we were going to a wedding.
Yeah.
And Chadwick just starts cracking up because
Sorry, that's my bedtime alarm.
he's
Go
like,
night night then. Night night.
because
Bye-bye.
like it's like that's pretty bad when, and Chadwick's just falling over laughing as Tom's telling the story, and I'm like, that's great.
You gotta excuse Sarah. It's her bedtime.
It is my bedtime.
Good night, Sarah. Bye.
Well, I'm going to finish out the podcast. We've only got a few minutes anyways.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever.
David Bowie is a sad one for me. And I consider him an actor. He may have only been in one thing, but he was...
No, he was in quite a few.
I don't think he did very many movies.
Well, it wasn't just movies. He also did TV shows and plays and... Yeah.
I just was a big...
The Babe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Talking about Phil Hartman earlier, another SNL alumni, Chris Farley. Damn, what a funny guy.
You know,
what a funny guy.
You know, I will say this, and this is for you kids that are watching, that if you don't quit being stupid, you're going to be living in a van down by the river.
Chris Farley.
I love that.
Now,
Did you? I'm Matt Foley, and I'll be your motivational speaker.
I loved the tribute that Adam Sandler did.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and his in a show, his comedy stand-up, yes. It was
Well, he
beautiful.
also wrote a song called Chris Farley.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's
what he sang in his
yeah.
stand-up. He sang that, you know, I'm talking about my friend Chris Farley.
Did you know that on YouTube, it's not like it's the concept art, but it's the whole movie. But you can watch Chris Farley in Shrek.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, the
I have
storyboard. of
not
him.
That
seen
is
it.
so
I need to
Yeah.
see
Like,
it.
They said that he had originally had like 75% of
Yeah,
his
most
lines
of his lines
done.
were done.
Yeah.
And then he unfortunately passed. And I mean, it's like, what do you do after that?
You know, they couldn't.
How do you bring somebody into voice as Chris Farley? Because like that was a one in a lifetime sounding guy.
Yeah, but
Never
they-
heard
they-
anybody sound like him before.
But they couldn't have picked a better person to take over that.
Yeah, and the fact that Shrek wasn't even originally going to be Scottish, you know, he just
Yeah.
went with that,
Yeah.
and they were just like, well, that just fit. It just felt like Shrek. So, but I'm sure, you know, if Chris wanted anybody, he would have been down for Mike.
I think
yeah.
he's just happy that the movie was able to be completed.
That
Yeah.
too, yeah.
You know,
It
another.
sucks that they partied too hard,
Yeah.
and
Speaking of partying in SNL, John Candy.
oh yeah, him, John Belushi. Was it John Belushi or
Yeah.
Jim Belushi?
John.
John Belushi, and
Yeah.
John Candy, man. John Candy was obviously it was before Chris Farley, but that was like the 80s, 70s, and 80s, like Chris Farley.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like John Candy was awesome, and the scene with him in the van in Home Alone, that was all improv. Did you know
Yeah.
that? It was all improv. He was
Yeah.
actually it wasn't supposed to be that big of a character in it.
He did it in one take,
Yeah.
and he did it in I think they said an hour.
Yeah, they knocked it out of the park. But he was only supposed to be like at the airport, and that was it. And you weren't going to see them like traveling home, taking
Oh,
her home.
wow. I'm glad we did get to see
Yeah,
that.
no, it's fun. It's fun.
I think it's a good part of the movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of the most memorable to me.
It's kind of like a lighthearted moment too, because the poor mom's been stressing out over everything. She gets to kind of, you know, even though she's still thinking about her son, she's on the way there, but she's having a good time with these guys, and they're kind of getting her mind off it for a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good one.
You know, we missed one person.
What do you mean one person? There's a lot of
There are
people.
so many people.
And we probably honestly, by the time this podcast is over, I'm gonna feel bad. So I'm gonna get out of the way now for anybody listening, and for any of the dead out there in the spirit world, anybody that we missed, any big names, anybody that's important, anybody, anything like that. Really, really sorry. Really, really sorry, because there's a lot.
Kurt Cobain.
Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, yeah.
We forgot to put her on the list, but she just popped into my head.
Who?
Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah.
Remember? She
Yeah.
just lost her.
Yep,
Played Sandy.
Uh,
Kurt Cobain, you just said.
Get some B horror in here and mention Sid Haig.
Captain Spaulding. Suzanne Summers.
Because we can always, yeah.
Alex Trebek.
Yeah. See, we could always, maybe one day, unfortunately, I mean, I hate to say, like, one day whenever we lose some more people, we can always come back and do it again.
Well, I mean, think about this. Since Thursday, we've lost, 8 people?
Yeah.
I don't even like that.
Well, and a couple of creators I want to mention is Wes Craven and
Yes.
Stan Lee. Those
Oh,
were some
yes.
major
Yes.
losses.
Yes.
Wes Craven to the horror community and
Ugh.
Stan Lee to the comic book community.
I remember I changed my whole background on Facebook. I mourned his death for months.
Yeah, Wes Craven was one that definitely hit me because he was on top of like John Carpenter and stuff. Like he was a big horror icon, like inspiration for me as a director. Obviously, I'm doing a Scream fan film, so there's a huge thing there. Like if he was still alive, my main goal in this is not only for the fans to enjoy it, but if Wes was here, he'd be like,
"Yep,
you did really good. I'm proud of you. Good job. Good work. You know, little pat on the back. Good job. You know."
Yeah.
George A. Romero.
George A. Romero. Sarah was like, Sarah gives me crap about it because I had an opportunity to meet him. I was just too starstruck because it was George A. freaking Romero, and nobody was in his line at the con that I actually met Jason David Frank at. No one was in his line. I could have easily walked over there and just said hi, had a small conversation with him.
I would have bowed.
But I saw him and it was just like, it's George A. Romero. I passed on it and he died, and now I regret it.
So, you know,
should have just a hi, like, thank you for your work, you know? And that's it. I should have. I suck so bad.
So, you remember Markel?
Yeah.
Dumbass.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
What show was it? Creepy?
Creep Show?
Creep Show.
Yeah.
Yep. Creep Show. He was, I loved those episodes.
Yeah.
Man.
You said Sid Haig?
Yeah.
Great Sid Haig.
Yeah.
High on the Hog. Watch High on the Hog. I had the opportunity to work with
It's a fun
him,
movie.
Man. It was good. It's a good stoner movie.
It really is.
Another recent one, Luke Perry. He was. Did we lose him last year?
No.
Late
A
last year?
couple of years ago. Yeah.
You know, they didn't even put him. Not Luke Perry, but also Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just lost him recently. Somebody, because I didn't get a chance to watch the Academy Awards live, but somebody said that he was missing from the memory, the tribute reel. Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
How do you forget somebody like that?
They do that crap all the time.
Did you
I know there was a year, I forget what year it was. I was pissed because they forgot somebody. And I was like, I did not see them in there.
Do you know we almost didn't get Matthew Perry as Chandler?
Really?
John Cryer was originally offered the role, and he missed it because he was in London.
Hey, things happen for a reason,
Yep.
man.
And that's what he said.
Burt Reynolds.
We already had Matthew on there.
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds.
You know, most
one guy who can pull off a mustache.
The
besides
only
Sam
guy.
Elliott. Sam Elliott.
Dude, really? What about what's his name? He played Richard on Friends. He's in Blue Bloods.
I have no idea.
Hold on.
Well, while he's
What
looking
about
at
Whitney Houston?
it. Yeah, Whitney Houston. She's a sad one.
I don't want to live for nobody. Cause I'm not. Isn't that Whitney Houston?
I don't know.
What did Whitney Houston do that's so iconic?
I will always love you.
Yeah.
By the way,
sorry guys.
Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck. Yep, those are the three mustache kings of the world.
Aaliyah from
Oh, my
Queen of the Damned.
That one.
Yeah.
Left Eye.
Hmm?
Left Eye. TLC.
Oh, yeah. She was murdered.
Yeah.
That was another sad one. Her boyfriend, was it boyfriend or ex-boyfriend?
Something like that, yeah.
Killed her.
Don't forget the one and only amazing Adam West. I am Batman.
Classic Batman.
Did you see the episode
Wish I could do it good.
Family Guy when
Adam West
he did, I
impersonation.
think it was Peter, Joe, and he did their funeral. He goes, well, none of you all came to mine. And then he left.
Right. Yeah.
Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher,
Sarah,
yeah.
how'd you forget her on this list?
I am bad, okay? I forget. What about the one in Green Room?
Oh, Anton Yelkovich.
Oh, yeah.
Poor man, 28 years old. Died
Crushed
in
by
the
his
most
own
freak
car.
accident.
Yeah.
His car, somehow, he thought he put it in park, and he was on a hill, and he went to go unlock his gate, and his car reversed and rolled down the hill. Freaking crushed him, dude.
Crushed him.
What a track. That's a Final Destination moment.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Did you get to see him in Star Trek?
Yeah,
Of course.
dude.
The first thing I ever saw him in was it's based on true story. Justin Timberlake was in it. He ends up getting
Alpha Dog.
Thank you.
Alpha Dog.
My brother's brother knew those guys
Really?
because they all grew up in that area.
Oh snap!
wow.
That's crazy.
And
Like not the actors, the people
no,
it's
the
based
people,
on.
yeah,
Like the people,
Yeah.
not the actors, right?
no,
Oh my gosh, that's crazy, dude.
and like it's like, dude, that he did so good in that movie. I was like, man, he's gonna be something. And then he had just finished Star Trek, and then that happened.
Wild.
Yeah, all the amazing people names. And again, if we forget
There's so
one,
many.
if we forget one, we're sorry. To close this out, we talked about one that had impacted us already. So, not to like, put a what would you call it, like a jinx something, but
Oh, don't even say it.
But-
what future?
somebody who's still alive now that you idolize or love, that if they were to pass sometime in the future, that it's really gonna wreck you. And while you guys are thinking, obviously you guys probably know mine, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Dude, he goes. It's gonna be me all day. And I'll be watching his movies. Like I'll be marathoning them.
Him talking about
All day.
Schwarzenegger, I'm surprised he didn't mention Carl Weathers.
Oh shit! What the fuck, Carl Weathers? How? Well, you know what? I think the reason it being is because we did dedicate our I think our second episode, was it? Our second or third episode? One of those recently. We dedicated a whole episode to the man, and we watched Predator together. Me, you, and Dalton.
Patrick
again,
Stewart is going to
Carl
be a
Weathers.
sad one for me.
Chuck Norris.
Is he even allowed to die?
No.
Does
Death is
death
scared
want
of
him?
Death is scared of him.
No, I think Patrick Stewart, like for real, will wreck me.
Speaking of Patrick Swayze.
Oh,
The man,
yeah,
Patrick Swayze.
Sad.
Rough. So Patrick Swayze, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and who would you say?
Mine was Patrick Stewart, by the way.
just said Patrick
You said Patrick
Swayze.
Swayze.
My bad. We were just talking about.
As dumb as it's going to sound, because I know the look I'm going to get,
Uh-oh.
I gotta say,
Kid behind the camera. Whenever Michael Green dies, you're gonna be like, ooh.
Ryan, we are on the same wavelength.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That'll be a sad one.
The Rock.
for sure.
Well, The Rock's.
Well, I come from that same world, so
Eddie Guerrero was a sad one.
that was a very sad one.
Didn't we lose a wrestler recently? Wasn't there a wrestler?
Which one? There's been several this year.
No.
Terry Funk, Bray Wyatt. Bray really hit me hard because Wyndham he's 3 weeks younger than me, or 5 weeks younger than me. That's it. He had 3 heart attacks.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Can't think of anybody else.
I mean, there's so
Like I
many
said,
that we
it
can
was-
do, but it's
So many talented, amazing people. You know, like of course some long time ago legends like Marilyn Monroe, Charlie Chaplin, people like that, that have left a legacy behind and have impacted basically everything until we have today. So if it wasn't for people like that, we wouldn't have other people we grew up on, and we wouldn't have some of the newer icons that are starting out today, some of the new fresh generation, stuff like that. So definitely very well missed, all these people we talked about. Again, sucks, like we're losing people that we grew up on and loved, because we've seen people slowly die that even our parents grew up on, and we never even thought about the day that we'd start losing people that we knew and grew up on. So it's rough. But they left behind, like I said, a legacy, and they will forever live on through their work. So in a sense, man, they're freaking legends, and because they're going to be forever seen. Their work will be forever watched and enjoyed forever.
To quote a very, very wise actor, heroes get remembered, legends never die.
That's right.
That's true.
Yeah, I think that's what I meant to say. Where I was going with that was their work. Because of their work, they will never die. They will forever live on.
Now, do you know where I got that?
No.
The Sandlot.
Ah, Sandlot.
Babe Ruth.
But we really appreciate y'all listening. Thank you so much for the support. Keep spreading that word. Spread the word about RBG Studios Vlogs, where you go to get your positive content and entertainment. Trying to bring back the new vlogs and content weekly if I can, and we're going to continue this podcast. So.
Might not do one next week because we will have a very long weekend.
Yeah, we are going to be going out of town, so but stay tuned. We'll keep everybody updated, and
who knows, maybe when we come back, Dalton will be here again.
Yeah, right.
I think the only reason he's not here is because this was a last second thing.
Yeah, we did have to switch our shoot dates because
Yeah.
Sarah and I actually was able to get out and have an amazing date night. We saw Long Legs, which was freaking creepy.
I love Nicolas Cage.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. We truly appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us not only on YouTube, Spotify, and Facebook. You could, I would say TikTokies, but we were banned. So, good night. Thanks again. Much love.
I see dead people. Dork. My patience.